Kissing her isn't just physical, it's emotional. A forehead kiss says, "You're safe." The neck ignites desire. The small of her back shows intention. Her hands deserve reverence, and her inner wrist, pure intimacy. These places speak louder than words, making her feel seen, cherished, and deeply desired in every way. For many women, intimacy is not measured by how often you touch her body, but how deeply you touch her soul through every interaction. A kiss can be many things. It can be routine, impulsive, or even thoughtless. But when done with intention, it becomes a powerful expression. It transforms from a simple act into a meaningful moment that makes her feel special, chosen, and understood. Think about it. You can kiss someone every day and still leave them feeling empty, or you can kiss them once, with focus, with presence, with emotion, and they'll remember it for the rest of their life. That's the difference intention makes. When a woman feels like a kiss is coming from a place of genuine desire, of admiration, of connection, it becomes more than physical, it becomes emotional. A kiss with intention is not rushed. It doesn't come from habit. It's not a quick peck on the cheek as you scroll through your phone, or a distracted kiss goodbye before you walk out the door. A kiss with intention has presence. It says, "I see you, I feel you, I want you." It communicates without words. It allows her to soften, to surrender, to trust the moment. The truth is, women don't just want to be kissed, they want to be wanted. Not for what they look like or what they offer, but for who they are. They want to feel the electricity in your fingertips, the sincerity in your lips, the pause in your breath before you move in. When a woman senses that your kiss carries energy, emotion, and depth, it awakens something in her. When you kiss her with intention, she doesn't just feel it on her skin, she feels it in her heart. It makes her feel worthy, desirable, seen. That's what creates deep emotional intimacy. That's what builds connection that goes beyond the surface. And intention isn't about being perfect. It's not about some dramatic movie scene or trying to impress her. It's about being present, about slowing down enough to realize that this kiss means something. That in this moment, you're not just touching her lips or her body, you're touching her heart. So the next time you lean in to kiss her, don't ask yourself if it's the right time or the right place. Ask yourself, what am I saying without words? Is your kiss saying, "I'm here with you"? Is it saying, "You matter to me"? Is it saying, "You're beautiful, inside and out"? That's what intention is. It's what separates an ordinary kiss from an unforgettable one. It's what turns a simple gesture into a powerful emotional experience. Because in the end, the most memorable kisses aren't about technique, they're about truth. Unexpected kisses build anticipation and intimacy in ways that deliberate gestures sometimes can't. There's a certain magic that happens when a kiss catches her by surprise, not in an intrusive or careless way, but in a way that feels spontaneous, thoughtful, and emotionally attuned. It breaks the rhythm of the ordinary and replaces it with a spark that lingers long after your lips have parted. A woman's heart responds to the element of surprise, not just because it's different, but because it shows you're paying attention. It says you're not following a script or waiting for the right moment. You're creating it. And that makes her feel wanted in a way that words alone can't express. When you kiss her unexpectedly, you're reminding her that desire doesn't need a reason. It just is. These moments are powerful because they feel real. A kiss on the cheek while she's laughing at something. A gentle kiss on the shoulder while she's brushing her hair. A kiss on her hand while she's lost in thought. These are not grand displays. But they send a very clear message. I see you, I want you, right now, just as you are. And for a woman, that kind of validation is deeply attractive. Anticipation thrives in unpredictability. When she doesn't know when or where the next kiss will come, she stays engaged. Her senses remain open, her emotional walls soften. The mystery of not knowing exactly how you'll express your affection next keeps the connection fresh and exciting. That's the secret to emotional tension. The good kind. The kind that keeps her leaning in, wanting more. And it's not just the physical aspect of the kiss. It's the why behind it. Unexpected kisses show her that desire doesn't need planning. It's alive in the moment. You don't need a perfect setting or a certain mood. You just need presence, spontaneity, a willingness to act on what you feel when you feel it. Intimacy, after all, is not built on routine. It's built on attention, on the ability to respond to her, to the mood, to the energy between you. A well-timed, unanticipated kiss can speak louder than a planned date or a rehearsed compliment. It bypasses logic and lands straight in her heart. It says, "You affect me. I can't help but kiss you." That message is potent. It's easy to fall into patterns in any relationship. You hug here, kiss there, follow the same script. But it's those moments that break the routine, the spontaneous gestures that keep the fire alive. And when that kiss lands in a moment she didn't expect, it stays with her. It replays in her mind. It deepens her emotional connection to you. Because in that one kiss, you're not just touching her lips, you're awakening her emotions, stirring her curiosity, creating intimacy that feels effortless, but goes incredibly deep. That's what an unexpected kiss can do. It's a simple act with extraordinary power. Physical touch is emotional language. It speaks when words fall short. It bypasses logic and cuts straight to the heart of how someone feels, seen, wanted, appreciated, or even neglected. For many women, especially, touch is not just a matter of contact. It's a conversation. And every gesture, every brush of the hand or kiss on the shoulder says something. Whether that something is love, desire, safety, or attention, it all depends on the intention behind it. Touch communicates what we often struggle to say out loud. A soft caress on the back when she's had a long day says, "I'm here." A kiss on her forehead in the quiet moments says, "You're safe with me." Holding her hand in public says, "I'm proud to be with you." These are all small, seemingly ordinary actions, but they hold deep emotional weight. Because behind each one is a message that reaches the part of her that words often can't. It's not just about touching her, it's about what your touch tells her. When your hands are present, not distracted, not forced, but fully engaged in the moment, she feels that. She feels the difference between a hand that touches from habit and one that touches from feeling. The emotional quality of touch can either pull her closer or push her away. The body responds to emotional energy. A woman's body, especially, is highly intuitive. She can feel the difference between attention and indifference, between desire and duty. When she feels cherished in your touch, her walls come down. She doesn't just relax into you physically, she opens emotionally. That's why it's not about being overly physical or constantly affectionate. It's about the quality of those touches, the sincerity, the presence. Think about the moments when physical touch meant the most in your life. Chances are it wasn't about passion or intensity. It was about connection. A hug when you felt broken. A hand on your back when you needed reassurance. The same is true in romantic relationships. Women remember the touches that made them feel deeply understood, because those are the ones that told the truth. Touch becomes emotional language when it aligns with your energy. If you're feeling gratitude, let your hand rest on her with warmth. If you're feeling desire, let your kiss be slow and intentional. If you're feeling pride, pull her closer. Each of these is a message, and she's always listening, even if you never say a word. We live in a world that encourages more speaking and less feeling. But when you learn to express through your touch, you offer something rare. You give her an experience she can feel in her body and carry in her heart. A woman will forget many things, but she won't forget how your presence made her feel. And touch, when it's genuine, is the most fluent language of all. Forehead kisses convey protection and presence in a way few other gestures can. They are quiet, gentle, and often overlooked, but their emotional impact runs deep. To a woman, a kiss on the forehead says, "You're safe with me." It's not a kiss of lust. It's a kiss of care, reverence, and emotional grounding. And that's what makes it so powerful. Unlike other forms of affection that may signal desire or passion, a forehead kiss speaks to the soul. It carries the weight of attention, emotional availability, and a deep sense of respect. It's not rushed. It's not about taking. It's about giving. It says, "In this moment, I'm not here to possess you. I'm here to protect you." And for a woman who lives in a world that often demands more than it gives, that simple reassurance becomes unforgettable. When you place a kiss on her forehead, you're not just making a physical connection, you're making an emotional promise. You're telling her without saying a word, "I see you, I honor you, I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere." That kiss becomes a soft landing in a loud, chaotic world. It grounds her, it allows her to breathe, it invites her to trust. There's something deeply intimate about touching a woman's face. But when you go a step further and press your lips to her forehead, you're entering emotional territory. You're reaching past the surface and into the places where her worries live, where her past wounds sit quietly, where her need for love and reassurance has been silently waiting. And in that moment, your kiss becomes a healing force. Many women associate the forehead kiss with emotional safety. It often reminds them of the kind of love that is protective, not possessive, the kind of love that asks nothing in return, but simply wants her to feel at peace. It's the type of kiss that happens in quiet moments, when she's not expecting it, when she's most vulnerable, or when she needs comfort the most. And those are the moments that stay with her. Presence is the other message a forehead kiss delivers. It tells her you're not just physically there, you're emotionally there. You're tuned in. You're attentive. You're offering her your full presence without distraction, without agenda. It's a kiss that says, "I'm here with you and I'm staying." And that, more than grand gestures or eloquent words, is what builds emotional security. In relationships, it's easy to get caught up in dramatic expressions of love, but it's the simple, sincere gestures that build trust and depth. A forehead kiss may not seem like much, but to the right woman, in the right moment, it speaks volumes. It gives her something rare, the feeling of being cherished, protected, and completely seen. And that feeling, that's what makes her want to stay. The neck is vulnerability central. It's one of the most sensitive and exposed areas of the body, and for a woman, a kiss placed there carries emotional and sensual weight that goes far beyond the physical. It's not just about the sensation, it's about what it represents. When a man kisses a woman's neck with intention, it's not just an act of desire, it's an act of deep, instinctive connection. The neck is where her pulse beats close to the surface. It's where she can feel the warmth of your breath and the energy of your presence. It's a place that requires trust. Why? Because it's not a part of her body she exposes to just anyone. It's intimate, delicate, and emotionally charged. When you lean in to kiss her there, she has to let her guard down, even if only for a moment. That's what makes it powerful. That's what makes it unforgettable. Touching or kissing her neck isn't about dominance. It's about sensitivity. It's about reading the moment, feeling her energy, and honoring the trust she's giving you. It's a kiss that can say 1,000 things without a single word. "I want you. I see you. You move me." It tells her that your attraction runs deeper than surface level. You're not just looking at her body. You're connecting with her essence. The vulnerability of the neck also makes it incredibly emotionally responsive. When a woman feels emotionally safe, a kiss on her neck doesn't just arouse her, it awakens her. It brings her into her feminine energy, the part of her that longs to be seen, desired, and cherished. That kind of kiss says, "You don't have to do anything to earn this. Just be here. Just feel." And that's a message that speaks directly to the heart of every woman. It's also a place of deep tension release. We often hold stress in our neck and shoulders, and when you kiss her there gently, when you allow your lips to linger, it's like telling her to let go, to breathe, to relax. That physical gesture becomes emotional healing. It transforms desire into devotion. But here's what separates an ordinary kiss on the neck from one that reaches her soul: presence. If your mind is elsewhere, she'll feel it. If your energy is rushed, she'll pull away. But if you're there, in the moment, grounded, focused on nothing else but her, she'll melt into it. She'll remember it. She'll crave it. Kissing her neck isn't about checking a box or following a script. It's about understanding what that kiss means. It's about honoring the tenderness of that space and the emotional impact it can carry. Because when done right, a kiss on the neck doesn't just make her feel wanted. It makes her feel deeply seen, intensely feminine, and completely safe to let go. The small of her back is deeply feminine territory. It's a space that often goes unnoticed, yet it holds an incredible amount of emotional and sensual significance. There's something profoundly intimate about touching or kissing this part of her body, not because it's overtly sexual, but because it's quietly powerful. It's one of those areas that doesn't scream for attention, but when acknowledged with care and intention, it creates a lasting impression. This part of her body symbolizes grace, vulnerability, and elegance. It's the curve that connects strength with softness, movement with stillness. When your hand gently rests on the small of her back, or when your lips press against it in a tender kiss, you're saying more than "I want you." You're saying, "I honor you. I admire you. I'm drawn to everything that makes you woman." And that kind of message resonates deeply with her. What makes this area so impactful is how rarely it's touched with purpose. The small of the back often gets overlooked in favor of more obvious zones of attraction. But that's exactly what makes your attention there feel so special. It's subtle. It's unexpected. And in that subtlety lies the power to connect with her on a more emotional level. You're showing her that you see all of her, not just the parts society constantly spotlights, but the ones that are quiet, feminine, and often ignored. There's also a protective quality in placing your hand or lips there. It's where you guide her gently as you walk together. It's where you steady her when she feels off balance. It's where she feels your presence, your leadership, and your affection, all in one simple gesture. When you touch or kiss her there, she doesn't just feel desired, she feels supported. That's a kind of intimacy that lingers long after the moment has passed. This area is also physically sensitive in a way that invites closeness. It reacts to touch without words. A soft kiss here can send shivers up her spine, not just because of how it feels, but because of what it means. It's tender, it's considerate, and it reflects a deep emotional intelligence. You're not rushing, you're not grabbing, you're savoring her, appreciating her, and that tells her she's not just wanted, she's valued. When a woman feels a kiss at the small of her back, especially when it's unexpected, she feels chosen, not in a loud or performative way, but in a quiet, deeply felt way. That space becomes more than just a part of her body. It becomes a channel for trust, attraction, and emotional safety. The small of her back is a hidden gem of connection. When you touch or kiss her there with intention, you're stepping into a sacred space, one that whispers instead of shouts, but carries a message she'll feel in both body and soul. Her hands connect emotionally. They are not just tools for work, expression, or daily tasks. They are deeply personal extensions of who she is. Her hands hold stories. They carry the weight of everything she's done, everything she's created, everything she's given. And when you choose to kiss or hold her hands with sincerity, you're not just making contact with skin. You're connecting with her life, her essence, her emotional world. We often underestimate the emotional power of hand-holding or hand-kissing, but for a woman, it can mean everything. It's a gesture that can instantly dissolve emotional walls. Her hands are where she reaches out, where she nurtures, where she expresses care, and where she protects herself. So when someone gently takes her hand or kisses it with presence, she doesn't just feel affection, she feels seen, she feels understood. Holding her hand in public is a silent proclamation that she matters. It tells her, "You're mine, and I want the world to know." But it's not about ownership, it's about presence. A hand held while walking down the street or across the table in conversation sends the message, "I'm with you. I choose you." These small gestures create enormous emotional impact. A kiss on the hand, when done with intention, carries even more weight. It's old-fashioned in the best way. It's respectful, it's admiring, and it makes her feel cherished. In a world that often rushes through intimacy, a hand kiss is a pause. It says, "I honor you." It slows down time. It turns an ordinary moment into something meaningful. The emotional connection deepens when you pay attention to what her hands have been through. Maybe they've held children, written late-night journal entries, cooked meals, wiped away tears, or carried the burden of stress and responsibility. They've worked, they've loved, they've fought, and they've endured. When you hold her hands gently, you're holding all of that. You're telling her, "I respect your journey. I value your strength." Physical touch through the hands is also grounding. It can calm anxiety, soothe fear, and bring her into the present moment. When she's overwhelmed or disconnected, sometimes all it takes is a firm, warm hand in hers to remind her that she's not alone. That's emotional intimacy at its purest, being a steady presence when she needs it most. Even small touches, tracing her fingers, gently rubbing her palm, or simply letting your fingers intertwine with hers, build emotional depth. They are quiet acts that communicate safety, love, and consistency. Over time, those gestures create trust. And when a woman trusts you with her hands, she's also giving you access to her heart. Her hands are sacred. They give so much, often without asking for anything in return. But when you choose to touch, hold, or kiss them with real presence, you give her a gift she rarely receives: emotional recognition. You remind her that she is not invisible, that she is valued, that she is loved. The inner wrist is underrated. It's a delicate, often overlooked part of a woman's body that holds a quiet, magnetic intimacy. It's not the place most people think to touch or kiss, and that's exactly what makes it so powerful. The skin here is soft, sensitive, and incredibly responsive. Beneath its surface lies a pulse, her literal heartbeat. That's what makes a kiss or a touch to the inner wrist feel so deeply personal. It's not just physical, it's emotional. When you kiss her inner wrist, you're not going for the obvious. You're not chasing passion in its loudest form. You're speaking to her in a whisper. It's a gesture that says, "I want to know you, not just your body, but your soul." There's something about that level of subtlety that makes the moment unforgettable. It bypasses performance and taps into presence. A kiss on the wrist doesn't need to prove anything. It simply allows itself to be felt. Because the wrist is so often left untouched, when you pay attention to it, she knows you're not like everyone else. You're not following a script. You're seeing her through your own lens, noticing what others miss. That kind of attention makes a woman feel special, not just desired, but studied, appreciated, and deeply seen. The inner wrist also carries a kind of sensual vulnerability. It's where she sprays her favorite perfume, where her skin is warm and exposed. It's intimate without being overt. There's no need for urgency here. A slow kiss, a light trace of your fingers across her wrist. It can send shivers through her body and awaken emotions she didn't even know were waiting to surface. Because the wrist is home to the pulse, that kiss becomes symbolic. You're connecting to the rhythm of her body. You're syncing with her energy, not just your own desire. When a woman experiences this kind of gesture, she doesn't forget it. She doesn't file it away with the rest of the predictable displays of affection. She remembers the way it made her feel: safe, feminine, and completely captivated. That's because a kiss to the wrist is less about the act itself and more about the space it creates. A space where vulnerability is welcome, where time slows down, where connection becomes the focus. Even the simplest things, a gentle hold of her wrist while talking, or brushing your lips across it before letting go, can have a powerful emotional impact. These are the moments that say, I don't need to rush this. I want to experience you slowly, intentionally. And that message stays with her. In a world full of overstimulation and surface-level attention, choosing to focus on the inner wrist is an act of depth. It's a way of saying, I see you in your stillness. I feel you in your silence. And for a woman craving more than just physical affection, that kind of attention is everything. When it comes to making a woman feel deeply desired, it's not about grand gestures or the most obvious moves. It's about presence, intention, and emotional connection. Each kiss, each touch, speaks a language that words can't fully capture. The forehead, the neck, the small of her back, her hands, and the inner wrist, these are not just places on her body. They are emotional entry points to her heart. When you approach her with reverence, when you pay attention to what others overlook, you're not just touching her body, you're awakening her spirit. You're telling her that she's not just seen but felt, that she's not just wanted but valued, that she's not just beautiful but treasured. And that's the difference between being memorable and being meaningful. It's not how much you do, it's how deeply you make her feel. In the quiet of a forehead kiss, in the heat of a neck embrace, in the grounding of a hand held, or the vulnerability of a wrist touch, you communicate your truth. A truth that says, I choose you completely. That's what every woman wants, not just to be desired, but to be desired deeply. And when you master the art of intentional, emotional touch, you give her exactly that.